Bunny with a level 100 Rayman. We are getting into the first set, the first stock, the first game, the first few minutes of the Trial of Baldr stream.
And Raydish already starting off on the battle boots. Something so interesting about Raydish is that, you know, they're obviously very good at playing that disengaged style on the orb, but as soon as they get the battle boots, they have been known for making some major plays happen. And Bunny, the same can be said on the gauntlet. So far looking pretty solid for Bunny here, who has a nice extended edge guard, has to find the down sig, doesn't find the gravity cancel down sig. Raydish with a big reversal is going to send Bunny back off stage, and already you see the skirmishing versus the gauntlets and the boots off stage, and that's going to be a very big part of this match as Raydish switches over to the orb and tries to find some control here.
The orb's probably going to be pretty good for a KO, especially since all it takes is just a little bit more damage. Then you just got to wait for a side light Sair, maybe a good signature. Raydish has been pretty tricky with the signatures, but has been whiffing quite a few side sigs the past few weeks. Bunny tries to capitalize a bit on that, but they can't really find much to connect. Gets hit by the big stomp, and we have the first stock of the evening. Bunny now has to really try to reclaim some space. Raydish just chasing after them and giving them no space, but still, Nair connects. D-Sig doesn't really quite follow through. Nair also connects, but still has to wait for the recovery. The weapon throw down covers his feet. Raydish does not spend much time on the ground. Will we see another D-Sig? No. Slide charge to side sig actually puts Bunny in a tough situation, but are they able to find their way back? They looks like it.
Yeah, Raydish has been, I mean, all too comfortable offstage versus Bunny, where you, Bunny, you know, has the options to go for those sigs or try to go offstage and put it into their own hands on the gauntlet. But so far, Raydish has been very elusive, and it can be very difficult to find those stocks on Raydish easily. We're going to see a maybe gravity cancels high sig. No, not necessary. Just dodging right back to the stage. Bunny goes for the downer on a dodge read, doesn't find it, and that side area is going to close out that. Or that might have been a neutral light, actually. Nonetheless, taking the stock from Raydish, but Bunny having a lot of damage on them. I like the option to switch and stay over to the gauntlets, because I feel like the axe gets kind of bullied by both of these weapons. So it's good, you know, having that control off stage and having the ability to turn and make those big reversals happen, as Bunny does just that. Goes for the wall bounce with the weapon toss, doesn't find a connection, but Raydish now back to center stage. Bunny with a immediate KO threat and just gets right back into it and holding the center stage versus Raydish. This is where you want to find your comfort versus Raydish, is that center stage, so they can't run away with all of that momentum. The side air connects on Raydish, goes for the down sig. It doesn't fully connect, but it doesn't matter because the ground pound comes in anyway. Bunny from the down so much, immediately taking the stock, and now that's going to be Bunny up a stock.
The face ID is bugging out, and guys, it's time to lock in this Rayman. I think all they needed was just a minute to warm up, and now they were able to completely reverse the very formidable lead that Raydish had a little earlier. Side sig just barely doesn't hit stacked. The recovery doesn't lead him to Nair. Dare doesn't cover the ledge. Bunny finds the way back, still continues the barrage of attacks, gets disarmed. They have gauntlets doubled down. They continue to try and attack with unarmed, but has to try and make the best of the world that they can on this second stock with axe. Yeah, this stock is not looking too long for Apocalypse.
We're down to a last stock situation. Bunny getting a little bit of a lead going, getting about 100 damage of extra credit, which is nice versus Raydish, because, you know, Raydish is going to look to even up the damage quickly, but Bunny can find a KO there with that edge guard, doesn't find much more, and Raydish now back into that juggle state, goes for a down air back to try to cover a dodge back to the stage, doesn't find it, but Bunny doesn't punish, and now Raydish in a really strong spot. Bunny running out of resources, forced off stage. You're going to start seeing the sweat beads forming here. Nice wall grab for Bunny to avoid that edge guard situation. Raydish now the one in the back pedal, looking to find a weapon in comfort, and does in the orb. It's a nice little reprieve from the action, as you don't have to go so in with the orb compared to the battle boots. As Bunny looks to close out this game, but Raydish getting a side air is big, a side light into side air, getting disarmed. We saw what the stomp can do. Bunny going high, Raydish reading, but not finding the connection on the side air, but still the control, and now we know what Raydish can do on the edge guards, and from the clutches defeat, Raydish clutches out the game and takes it over Bunny.
Little variable. Looks like we're going to Fortress Lions.
Fortress of Lions, I think a counter pick that could work out for Bunny. Something notable about the last game is Bunny lost 2 stocks on the axe, both to edge guards from Raydish. So, you know, I feel like in those situations where Raydish has that control, you know, holding on to the axe might be kind of your downfall here. And you're kind of seeing this now as the orb is able to space out the axe so effectively. Nice landing down there from Bunny to get a little bit of control back to center stage. But Raydish on these juggles is just too much. You see that neutral stick come through, doesn't find a connection, but it still just does so much to continue that pressure. Bunny now getting a reversal, though. This is big. These edge guards haven't been working out as well for Bunny, and I'm hoping to kind of see that here. Try to scour for that side air, but Raydish doesn't give it to Bunny. Ooh, nice reversal, though. That down air is going to close out the first stock. Bunny with a lead.
So, gotta say, this is a very, very curious for the game to be in, because earlier, in order for Bunny to bring the game to even, they had to reverse, like I said earlier, a pretty formidable lead that Raydish had, and now it's up to Raydish to return the favor. Free choice of weapons, chooses to, I think that's double down on or that, or has Boots primed after a separate happened earlier. This does not connect the NSIG whiffs, but still both players find a ways to touch back down to the ground, and a damage lead still remains in Raydish's favor after Bunny took earlier the game. For some reason goes for M-Light instead of D-Light to punish the GCN SIG, and now there is a lot of pressure on Bunny to try and bring this game back in their favor. They've been landing a few good hits on her when they absolutely have to give themselves enough space to grab the next weapon, but depending on what the next weapon is, that is do or die right there, PJ. You said it yourself. They've had some of the lesser favorable interactions on Axe, but now they're on Gauntlets. And now this could be where we see the game even out just a little bit. We add just a few grams to the other side of the scale.
Yeah, it's such a change of pace for Raydish in this game number 2. Playing mostly on the orb, I think a majority of the time and damage on the orb, and it's been working out so well for Raydish. I mean, you kind of just slow it down and create these juggles. The stage counter pick for Bunny, you know, trying to find some success, maybe sitting underneath that high soft platform. It hasn't been working out, though, as Raydish has been all too just consistent with the juggles. I've never seen anyone hit this many orb recoveries just to rack on some extra damage, and you see already Raydish looking to do the same here, continue the juggle versus Axe. Bunny not letting them do that, though. I mean, you're down a stock here, but she's come back from worse, so it's not like it's over yet. You don't have to make any drastic measures. You can kind of hold on to what you have here. Ooh, was that a 5-piece on the orb there with the gravity cancel sidelight to extend? Raydish is just all too clean on the orb. Now Bunny in a bad spot. Off stage, gets sidelight into side air. It's over. You cannot be on the Axe versus Raydish orb. It will not work. As soon as you have to recover, you are getting punished every single time. That is exactly what Raydish needs to do to take game number 2. Oh my goodness.
Able to force you into situations that you were more likely to lose in. Now you have a lot to catch up for. If anybody put channel points on Bunny right here, I'd start to get a little bit worried, because they had a chance to learn from game 1 and they still couldn't really pick up the slack in game 2, and Raydish was just able to learn better and how to create their win conditions. And now, hopping into game 3, what Bunny hopes is not their last game in winner bracket. They are guarding the weapon right now, but Raydish is able to sneak on by with Boots. NSIG doesn't really quite connect, but does read the jump, so you can tell the download is almost finished. The clash beats out the recovery, the second ground pound. 40 seconds in. Raydish, I mean, I know his character literally is, but the man is on fire right now.
It's just so much pressure against Bunny. No matter the weapon, Raydish continues to be a threat. Bunny hasn't touched the stage in a while and looks to reversal the situation, avoids that recovery. Is Raydish, who looked to just close out a stock from a single neutral interaction. I mean, this is just Raydish at peak form, chases high with that recovery, doesn't find the coverage on the up chase dodge. Smart from Bunny to try to avoid that situation altogether. Nice side stick for Raydish, but Bunny looking for an edge guard, doesn't find it. Another side stick, and you're back to the stage here, and if Bunny can't close out the stock, maybe some extra credit is due. No, that side air closes it out and makes it an even stock situation here. Bunny needs a lot more of stocks like that, where Raydish gets a little bit too antsy, tries to go for those big call outs, and can hopefully do that right here, as Raydish now barely struggling to land. Nice narrative recovery from Raydish, though. Bunny back off stage, and it's just so back and forth here in this stock, but the damage lead is so great for Raydish that these 1-2 trades, the baton passing of the damage, is just not in Bunny's favor.
2 exclamation mark, GC side SIG. We don't see 3 The word exclamation mark is so long. We gotta change it to something else. Come on, English language. We gotta do better than that. But still, that's a conversation for another day. What we're talking about right here is the lead that Raydish has over Bunny right here. But still, this Rayman could be putting in the work, putting in the hours to take that stock lead away. D-Light and Nair juggles just a little bit more. The weapon throw doesn't find him enough landing space. Bunny is able to disarm Raydish. Axe in hand against unarmed could be fantastic for the KO. Sarah doesn't quite send. Dodges through the weapon throw. Picks up Gauntlet, starves for Axe. Still, that means that they have Gauntlets next. So even if this Axe doesn't really turn out too well, which, yeah, this is the matchup we talked about earlier, PJ. Although Axe into Orb goes well now, it might not go well later. Bunny has to make these Gauntlets work a darn miracle.
Game 2, Bunny spent the majority of the game on Axe and did the most amount of damage on Axe, but took the most as well. So I feel like these Gauntlets last game didn't have much output. You're going to need some output here if you want to force a game 4 situation versus Raydish. These neutral lights are a great way to start it off, just calling out some movement options, saying, I'm not a slouch in center stage. I can also hold space very, very well. It's exactly what's happening. That's Bunny with 3 neutral lights now on the Gauntlets and matching the speed and the movement. This is where you want to be as Gauntlets stacking on your opponent. Raydish can't find any meaningful space with the orb, and Bunny, I mean, playing so well. Even in the whiffs, she's finding a way to avoid these counter hits from Raydish, and this is kind of what needs to start happening if you want to make this comeback. Raydish with a big side air looks to stifle that momentum, though. At least you're not on Axe, so the edge guard isn't as free for Raydish. Raydish knows that, staying back on the stage, but the side light into side air will close it out and close out the set as Raydish moves on with a 3-0 and punches their ticket into top 8. That was a very, very dominant showing from Raydish there.
Would you expect anything less from PR3? Any time that Bunny tried to find a new way in, Raydish knew how to lock the door behind them.